love to show you what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to Arsenal. We also love to show you where we are in these amazing places that Arsenal are touring. So obviously here in Philadelphia, we're going to show you this, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, famous for, you will know it, Rocky Balboa running up the steps in those, well, it was in the first one, but 6 great films. And as you just reminded me, it was before his big fight with Apollo Creed in number 1, you say.
Number 1, and he lost.
And he lost on a point.
Yes,
yeah, but he come back and won the second one. But this one was where he was training and he struggled to get up the steps, and then by the end of it, he gets up the steps and does the famous jump, which we've all done.
Yep.
Some of us have gone the whole way, and some of us haven't. Yeah.
And what can Arsenal learn from Rocky Balboa? You lose the first time, you come back again.
Come back king.
Yeah. An effort. Try again.
There you go. Little something for the players there. Although we lost once and then again, but we'll do the third time. It's fine. It's our
He
year.
didn't quite lose. It was a very split decision, that first one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he
exactly.
was unknown and he wasn't expected. In fact, we're quite close to being Rocky Balboa, aren't we? Because he comes back and he's the champion.
We'll take it, and hopefully years of dominance after. Listen, let's talk about Arsenal versus Liverpool. They're playing here in Philadelphia at the Lincoln Park Fields. Same in the name, Cecil. We're playing here in Philadelphia. Super excited for the game. Arsenal have been building up to a point at which now it feels like a lot of those regular starting 11 players could be available. Of course, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Martinelli getting some minutes in the 2-1 win against Man United. In the game against Bournemouth, a lot of youngsters sharing minutes. But we need to talk about some of those players that did start. And Lee, over to you on Ethan Nwaneri, who surprised me playing on the left of that midfield three against Bournemouth. He only got the first 45. Salah-Eddine got the second 45. And I've got to say, we didn't skip a beat when he came on either. Those two youngsters, along with Josh Nichols, Lewis Skelly and others, have been really, really impressive. And I'm really excited to see them again against Liverpool.
Yeah, and also Heaven, I think he's sort of been missed out a lot.
You're right.
Of Nwaneri. He's impressed. All right, he made the mistake against Man United, but it was what he done after that was very, very impressive. I've been very impressed with all the youngsters on this tour. They've really stepped up, and they've looked like they should be here, and that's why they're here, because they obviously feel that they should be. But Nwaneri just looks. I'm going to say Salah looks very, very good as well, but I just think with Nwaneri just looks the part, and I've been very, very impressed with his performance.
You know, at the time of recording, the reports coming out about 2-3 hours ago, saying that, sort of some exclusive information saying that Arteta, well actually not Arteta, but the feeling at the camp at Arsenal was that this could well be Nwaneri's breakout season. And the way he's using him, Julian, starting him alongside Jorginho and Ødegaard in midfield 3 against Man United, I mean, that tells us something, right? He's not just, our filler place in the squad, because Vieira could have done that. So he's clearly trying to see something.
Yeah, he is, but then there is an issue.
Which is?
The issue is we keep calling out for more and more signings and established stars. Now, if you have established stars coming in, would it then block the pathway to getting in the first team? Because one of the things that you do need, however good you are, if you don't get a run of games,
I agree with that.
You don't get that momentum as a player. You can see it with Smith Rowe. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still a great player. He's probably technically a better player than today than he was a few years ago, but his worth has gone down. The reason why his worth's gone down so much is because he didn't get that run of games. He didn't get that momentum going. So it's very difficult where the supporters are crying out for new signings, at the same time criticising Arteta for not playing the kids. You can't have it both. You can only put 11 players on the pitch.
He makes a good point, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a very good point. The fact of the matter is, they will create a path if they think that they're good enough. That's the other side of it, you know. If they don't think there's a way in for Nwaneri, then they look to go and buy. But I do think that what I've really impressed with him is that it looks to me that he can play 3 or 4 positions and comfortably in either one. I do think that he's 17 years of age. I don't think that he's going to be right. You're going to be the starter and all that. But what I do think is he's going to get valuable minutes, and he's going to probably do minutes. If to be really honest, that maybe his path is being blocked by someone like Smith Rowe. So look, we can get the money for Smith Rowe, and the minutes and whatever that you got, that he was getting, Nwaneri can get, and maybe more, And obviously, the ceiling on Nwaneri may be a little bit high now because he's only 17. But what I've seen of him, I haven't looked at him in both games, Bournemouth and Man United, and thought, wow, he looks like a 17-year-old. I like the way he plays physically, but the actual way he plays as well, maturity of the way he plays, he looks like he's a way above that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And actually, it makes the Marino links make a lot more sense. 28-year-old who a lot of people, look, I'm excited about the signing. A lot of people are talking about why he could add a lot of balance to our midfield and everything he can add. But it's not the superstar Bruno Guimaraes, Frenkie de Jong, some people are saying. But when you see a player of that profile who can still add something, can play as a 6 and an 8, it makes sense why then you could add a player like that, and Nwaneri isn't necessarily blocked in his pathway. And dare I say, Salah-Eddine, I mean, this guy's been super impressive. I mean, when I think he had a big injury a few years back. I might be wrong about that. Let me know in the comment section below. And then he, I think went on loan to Hull maybe. You start to think, without following it too closely, well, you kind of wonder how much of a pathway is there. But the way he's playing this pre-season, Arteta's going to keep having a look at him as well.
Yeah. He was actually better than Nwaneri on.
You thought his 45 against United was better than Nwaneri's?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did. Even though I thought Nwaneri over the 2 games looked very, very good.
Yeah.
I felt that he really did step up and showed a maturity. Not only maturity, we were talking about with the fellas we met earlier on, Mark. He put himself about.
Yeah.
He left his foot in on a couple of occasions. So there's no, this is Man United we're playing against, or it's Ericsson or whatever. There was no respect for them, not in a bad way. Do you know what I'm saying? And I thought his performance was very, very good on. Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saturday. I mean, I totally agree with you. I've been more impressed with Salah-Eddine than I have with Nwaneri. One of the reasons I think is that he's 3 years older, which I didn't realise, because when you look at Nwaneri, he doesn't look like a 17-year-old.
Yeah. Nwaneri being 17 is like, bloody hell. I mean, 17. Salah-Eddine, like we've barely seen him, and you go, well, 2021, maybe he's able to play a little bit.
The one thing about Nwaneri, and that's the thing, is that me and Julian see his debut 2 years ago when he was 15.
Yeah.
Now, if you're giving a kid a debut in a Premier League game at 15, they must think that he's something special.
Well,
but we kind of criticise that in one way, because we were 3-0 up then, and he gets brought on injury time, and he broke the record. So it was almost like Arteta was trying to reinforce the point that I am giving kids a chance, but really he could have brought any of us on with 1 minute to go 3-0 up.
But he was making the point, this is someone special, and let me just let you know his name, because and show him as well, this is how highly we rate you, that I'm willing to make a gesture like that. But sorry, just to move on from the youngsters just for a sec, because I mean, lots of you mentioned Heaven as well, Lewis Skelly. I just want to say this final thing before we talk about the game in more detail. I flew out here, admittedly, and there's certain things you don't really say because you want to see how they pan out. But coming out here, I thought, look, big up the youngsters, 10 of them flying in, great experience for them. But I do wish we had the first teamers. I want to see how we're looking. I want to see some signings. I want to get an idea what Arsenal are going to look like going to next season. They've made an absolute joy watching how brilliant they've been. Arsenal still maintained a competitiveness, a sharpness to our play. I think we've looked good in the 2 games. Not amazing, but the Man United game better for sure. And now I'm going to this Liverpool game going, I want to see more of Salah-Eddine, I want to see more of Nwaneri, because I think they can play a part.
Can I be really honest?
Go for it,
Be really honest. I was a little bit flat.
Yeah, well, I get
Going into the Bournemouth game, I was a little bit flat. The one thing that I sort of boosted from that was the youngsters. But walking away from that, I'm thinking, well, that ain't going to win us the league. I'm not that. But I come away from the Man United game energised by those performances, not just their performances, but the other guys coming back. It was good to see Havertz coming back. It was good to see Gabriel coming back, and Ben White still playing and all that. But what I liked about it was the integration between and what I could say, there was like an integration, like they knew what each other were doing between the youngsters and the senior players.
It almost seems like that each team, even though they're playing different teams, they're coached in the same way. And I've heard that before, that they even play on the same type of pitches, don't they? Everything has to be
I think that's true to the women's team as well. I think throughout the club there is an ethos, an identity. Everyone is going to be playing a same way, a similar way, or at least that's the message sent out. So.
Which meant that when we made our substitutions, it didn't seem to disrupt us to the same extent as Man United, whereas Man United brought on their reserves. I thought that they looked worse.
Well, if I'll be really honest, and don't really want to criticise Man United, I don't really care, but their youngsters, if I'll be really honest, looks like they was out of their depth.
Yeah,
Amas looked very good, and I
didn't see any of that from any of our guys. All of our guys, all our young kids come on.
I think you've only got to look at what Martinelli did to their right back.
Yeah.
I mean, big up to all the youngsters who come in on tour, playing first team football. It's a big stage. We're just super proud of how these Arsenal players are looking. But let's just talk about Liverpool for a sec, because they've been playing youngsters too. We need to remind ourselves that they actually still as well have a lot of players missing. So in that 1-0 win against Betis, they did have the likes of Bradley, Quansah and Vandenberg in the back four with Tsimikas, albeit Bradley and Quansah play some first team football. So youngsters, but more experienced as well. And they had to play with a false 9 with Harvey Elliott in there. Obviously Nunez away and a few others. Others that might play, the likes of Chambers, Bashetic, who we know, Phillips been around a while, Kai Gordon, Doak, Beck, Kumas, Morton, Blair. So quite a lot of them. They're not going to be coming with their strongest side, but the likes of Salah, Jones, Szoboszlai will be there too. Wondering why there's a hold up on someone like Andy Robertson. Is he injured?
He's injured.
He's injured. Okay,
He's
well there you
injured.
go.
And they also had another injury to Harvey Elliott during that game. They were playing with 2 false 9s.
Okay, yeah.
He couldn't play the normal formation that he plays. I think he ended up playing 4-2-4, so he had to very much kind of adapt to the situation he's in. I know we've been kind of concerned about how the Euros and the Copa America have affected our pre-season, but when you look at Liverpool, it's affected them more.
Yeah, it has, and I think it's slightly affected Man United more as well. So what I expect from Arsenal in these games, not to look perfect, because we're missing players too, we're missing the whole spine of our team, but I do expect Arsenal to at least flex a little bit and have some control of these games. And like we said, it creates a good environment for the youngsters to come play. But we beat Man United, and I expected to beat Man United with the players they got missing. I don't expect the same against Liverpool.
No, this is actually an interesting point. What sort of team does he go? Does he play? Does he go strong or whatever? Like the interesting thing
what would you like him to do?
I want him to go strong. Even though it's a friendly, set a marker. And the thing with what I look with Liverpool at the moment, where we're different to us, is that even though we've got a lot of players missing, Arteta's been around for a while now. So when the likes of Rice, when the likes of Saka, all those guys come back, they go into an infrastructure that they know and which has been taught over a period of time. Liverpool have got a new manager coming in with different ideas, new what's names, and that could be a problem for them going forward. And when you've not got all your players and all your what you want ideally in a world is if you're a new manager, he's having all your players here and he's having to mix and match. So realistically, this is a time for Arsenal to really kick in and steam ahead. I do think Arsenal are a little bit ahead, not just in terms of players, but in terms of where we are. And I expect that to show on the pitch on
I've got
Wednesday.
a question for you, Lee. You said you want us to go strong. So is your definition of going strong leaving out the 2 players that we were all raving about at the beginning of the preview?
No. I think that Nwaneri and Salah, I think they probably share the game again, but I'd like to see them alongside of Jorginho and Odegaard up front. I'd like to see Martinelli start this game. Havertz.
Should we build our 11s? Let's build all our 11s, and we'll do it together. But Hein is going to keep the place.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind Tommy Setford getting 30 minutes. I thought we were obviously behind Tommy Setford, the young goalkeeper who came in.
Come from Ajax.
Yeah, I mean we only saw a little bit of pre-season training, what they sort of gave us a bit of access to, and his distribution looks good. I mean, I'm basing it off a training drill, but you've signed him from Ajax, 18 years old. But look, it's probably going to be Hein playing the full 90. My back four would be White, Timber, Gabriel, and Zinchenko.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
I'd like that because I want to see Zinchenko start.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a start yet, and it hasn't
He did start against Man United, but he only
he
came off there.
Yeah, that's what I would go with.
Yeah.
Nothing against Heaven. I think he's done very, very well.
Yeah.
But I want to see that strong back four going in and all that. So that'd be what I like to see. Gabriel coming back, so I think that he will get 60, 70 minutes.
Yep.
So I'm along that route.
Does Calafiori start?
Well, I think he'll come on.
We've got to talk about him as well before we build the rest of our 11. With Calafiori, fantastic.
20 minutes at the end.
Sorry?
20 minutes at the end.
Yeah, I think
what Gabriel Martinelli done.
Yeah, I agree. 20, 30 minutes. That's it. Get him on. Play a little bit of football. I mean, Arteta, I remember out in Orlando when they announced the Zinchenko deal there. Zinchenko started that game, but we were a lot closer to the start of the season, and that tour was more about getting the first 11 out there.
And he's been over there a bit longer because he was in the stands for the Orlando game first. So
that's a good point.
Integrated himself.
Yeah. So Calafiori, we all agree, excited to see him, and we hope he gets some minutes, but I just don't think he needs to start. But if he does, I won't complain because we'll get to see him.
Oh, 100%. But I don't think he will do.
Okay. Midfield. Now, here's the one I would want to see. Odegaard, Partey, Nwaneri.
Definitely want to see Partey.
Yeah, that's the midfield.
That's your midfield, yeah?
That's my midfield.
Or
Salah, either.
Do you know why I would do that particular combo? I saw Salah-Eddine playing basically the whole second half with Partey. So now like seeing Nwaneri with Partey.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm with you on that. Like, I think it's a big tour for Partey. And
he's not looked his sharpest. We're being really honest. He's not. I'm not saying
he's looking good.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, in body shape wise, he's looking chiseled.
I mean, in shape is one thing. I don't question that. I mean, who am I to sit here eating Philly cheesesteaks and questioning how they're looking in shape?
Ease him through the pre-season.
On the ball, I think he's had some sloppy moments against Bournemouth and Man United. I'm not saying he's playing badly. I just don't think he's. Listen, Partey, we know when he gets to his best, is one of our best players. We just haven't seen it for a full year.
And at this moment in time, he shouldn't be at his best.
No, fair enough.
Build it up.
Of course. So we all happy with that midfield?
I'm very happy with that
Partey,
midfield.
Odegaard.
That's the midfield that I go.
Okay. Front three.
I want to see Martinelli. That's one I want to get.
Two I want to see. I know my third one.
Go on, give us yours.
I'm going to go Martinelli, Havertz. I want to see them two there, and I'm going to keep with Nelson.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm exactly there. So I think what we need is Havertz getting some game time. Because I think we'll start the season with him. If you start the season with him, you've got to get him used to getting the minutes and how they play. And Nelson, I've been really impressed with him. And if he carries on this trajectory, then you've got one of two things happens. Either we charge more for his signature if we're selling him, or we integrate him back in and give him the minutes.
All right.
I think he could be the answer to not having to have a Saka.
What are you going with?
Okay, I've had a good think about this. Then we talk on two players who aren't going to start, but I just want to mention them. Nelson, I think, looked brilliant. Probably deserves this spot. In fact, if we were playing a Premier League game tomorrow, I think you've got to argue Nelson starts it. But I wouldn't play him because all the reports are that he wants to move and that there will probably be a move.
Fair enough.
Fabio Vieira, I think we need to be seeing more of him. I don't like him out on that right-hand side, but I kind of get why he's doing it, Arteta. But he doesn't make my best for three. So my three would be Martinelli on the left, Havertz up front, and Gabby Jesus out on the right. Played there for Man City, played there against Man City for us when we beat them 1-0 in October. He's very comfortable on that side. Dare I say he's actually the best option we've got in the entire squad behind Bukayo Saka to play on that right-hand side. He looked really good against Man United. He drifts everywhere anyway. And with links recently to the likes of Jokeres and maybe another striker, it feels that if we add a forward, one of those, Trossard, Jesus, false nines, is going to have to do a job in the squad as a winger anyway. So Jesus, Havertz, Martinelli. That's my front three.
I'm not going to argue with that. I see the points you're saying, and Jesus has started. Got to say I've liked Jesus down the middle, but as Julian alluded to as well, that maybe Havertz is going to start there. So
I agree on Havertz starting there. So I think we should give him this game up top.
Listen, if Nelson is going to be going, I'd rather look at what we're doing for the season than the money side of things. So I will go. If that's the case, let's put Jesus in there.
Well, I'd even be interested in seeing Nwaneri in a different position. Maybe could he be the Saka backup? Could he be out on the right, getting minutes there? He's played there before.
I think he can play anywhere, the kid.
Well, and he played a lot of football as a right creator / right forward. So I'd love to see him in that area of the pitch. That means Salah-Eddine could start, or Vieira starts in the left eight. So
I think, as you quite rightly pointed out, if Arteta's plan is to play a certain player in that position as backup to Saka, my belief is football is based on relationships.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And the reason why our right-hand side was so much more effective than our left-hand side was because of the stable relationship between Saka and Ben White. Whereas at the left it was disrupted. Now, I think we've all come to the conclusion that Saka, especially towards the end of the season, wasn't looking like the Saka of the beginning of the season. He was looking jaded, and we need someone that can come in and play those games. And help him out and keep those performances up to a level, and when they dip off, have a credible replacement. Now, if Jesus is that person, then he needs to start building a relationship with that right back and on that right hand side. So I'd agree with you for that reason.
Perfect. And Arteta actually did speak about the relationship on the right hand side, answering a question I asked in the press conference. If you want to go watch that, it's out on AFTV. Got to let everyone know about it.
No, right. So it's a very good question.
Well, thank you very much.
So well done, and I thought Mikel answered it very, very well.
I thought it was a great answer. I really appreciated it, and it tells us we're probably going to see Timber at centre back again in this game.
Did you sleep that night thinking about the question?
Dreaming of it. Oh, let me not. Everyone, we're going to round it off there. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Quick score prediction: 2-1.
I'm going to go 4-1.
Oh wow, you think we'll batter them?
I think we're speaking to Grizz, who's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
He said we met him in the airport. He was saying that Liverpool are not in a very good, healthy position with players.
Okay.
If we go strong, I think that.
Yeah, if we go strong with the caveat, I think 2-1. And you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1. When
Okay.
you look at Arne Slot, he's a brilliant manager. 65.33% win ratio at Feyenoord. Excellent, but can he do it? Hang on, come back. But can he do it in not the Premier League, but against a Premier League team?
Can he do it on the US tour?
Yeah, with a lot of disruptions. They've got a lot of issues. Yeah. I don't think so.
All right, well, let's see. I'm sure we'll see new ideas from Liverpool. Will we see some of the older ideas that have got Arsenal to where they've got to in the last few years, with Arsenal getting a little bit stronger in this game? Be fascinating to see. Of course, a lot of the boys have flown out, and then after this game, we'll be returning back to London to see Arsenal facing Leverkusen and Lyon. So plenty of football to come before we kick things off in the Premier League. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Go check out all the other tour content, and we'll see you very soon.